I wonder if I like to live through the mangas because I did not have high school romances. I was kind of a nerd. Anyways. What's up my nerds and welcome back to my channel. So today we have our January monthly reads, which is a new thing that I've decided to start doing because I never did it on the channel where I used to do my manga stuff. And I never really did it on Instagram either, but for 2023, we decided I'm gonna track what I'm reading because it is my goal this year to read more of my collection because people have been coming at me, and you know, some rightly so sometimes, because I'll buy the first few volumes of a series and then I'll read them and I'll be like, this is pretty good, and then I will like binge buy the rest of the series and then forget to read the rest of the series. So a good chunk of my collection has not been touched. However, we are going to change that this year. Oh yes, we are. So my goal for myself was to read one volume a day. However, we failed that miserably. So instead, if I'm buying, let's say, 40 volumes of manga, like this month, for example, I need to be reading the equivalent of half of my haul. I need to read at least 20 volumes. And I would like to say that I have successfully done so with 26, but I am filming this slightly before the end of the month, so I'm going to round that up to a nice 30 because I have a few books downstairs that I'm going to be reading, so 30! Woohoo! That's awesome, and I'm excited about that. So, but anyways, without further ado, let's get into our January reads. Alright, so I have all my manga on a table here in front of me. I've got it categorized in romance and adventure. And that's pretty much it because those are the only two genres I read. However, the third pile was kind of slice of life, and that is Mame Coordinate because it's not really a romance and it's definitely not adventure. But it was so cute. I'm also going to leave the synopsis of the volumes and the mangas right here because if I try and spew what they're about, it's going to be a bunch of jumbled nonsense, so it'll just be easier if it's right over there. However, I am going to give you my thoughts on the book, and my thoughts are this is freaking adorable. We have her new manager, and she's super sweet and super stylish, versus Mame, who was like, I want to say country girl. I'm pretty sure, yeah, she was like the country girl, and she wears like octopus, cat, and dog sweaters, and she just like basically like just circles those three. And doesn't really have a lot of fashion sense, kind of nervous, and I'm like, girl, literally, why did you get into modeling? Why'd you accept it if you're so nervous? But her new manager is like bringing her out of her shell. I cannot wait to see how the next volumes go. It is not on my high priority list. It was super cute. I do love the art style as well. I thought it was really sweet, and it's very like what I like. It's very modern, it's very soft and bubbly, but I definitely have other things that are more top priority within my reads that I'm gonna be keeping my eye out. But it was super cute. I would say like out of 10, it was a solid 7, so there we go. Alright, before I move on to more physicals, I did read some manga slash manhwa. The manhwa? Am I getting that right? Anyways, I read online, and I read actually quite a bit online. So I read Kademono, oh my gosh, I'm probably butchering this, Kademono Arashi, and then Kademo Arashi Kiss Me Baby, then the Hug Me Baby, then the Hold Me Baby, then the Touch Me Baby. In that specific order, because that's the order you're supposed to read it in, I had to search it. I absolutely love this story. It's based in like an Omega Alpha kind of, but a beast world. And okay, yes, this is a boy love. I have read it before, but we just decided to give it a little bit of a reread. Out of 10, this series is like 10 out of 10, 20 out of 10. I love it so much. It is so freaking cute, and they're kids. Oh my god, I literally cannot. They are so freaking cute. I am literally obsessed with them. They are adorable. I believe it's still ongoing, so I'm excited to see more babies. Give me all the babies, they're so cute. Next up on my online reading, I read Heat and Run. I have been reading a lot of like Omegaverse volumes and series recently. Heat and Run is complete, though it seems like it's still ongoing, but I'm pretty sure it's complete, and it's basically about, well, you can read it here. If I try to split it out, we're gonna be here a long time. The story was so freaking cute. I was a little confused because I think the site that I read online manga I don't think their translator got a certain parts. So I'm like reading a page and I'm like, what? Because I'll like, to sum it up, like one page might have been like, you need to stop squeezing the ketchup. You have brown shoes. And I'm just like, I'm like so confused. Obviously that wasn't actually in there, but you get what I mean. Like it did not make sense. However, we pieced together the story and we had a happy ending and it was really adorable. Definitely a 10 out of 10. If you like Omegaverse series and BLs, I would go read that. Another online one that I read was Daytime Star, because I had been seeing so many like sneak peeks and like I guess that ended recently on Instagram and how they had kids, and again synopsis right here because oh my gosh. It was so cute! I generally read a lot more BL online than just like regular romance, though when I do read online for regular romance, it's like in the ancient times, like going back to Egypt. No, like kings and queens and like, I don't know, stuff like that. I read a lot of that online, but Daytime Star was basically modern and it was like two people in love, like idols, but no, they were actors. They were actors, two in love actors, but like it almost went too well. Like they didn't have a lot of hardships to overcome and they were just like really in love, which made me pretty sus the entire time because I'm like, the guy's gonna backstab her, he's not doing anything, like he actually doesn't like her, but then it was fine, he actually did love her in the end, and it just like felt, I don't know, it felt too not realistic at all. However, I did still enjoy it, but the same thing with like Heat and Run, some of the translation was just lost. So for me, it was like a solid 8 out of 10. It was really cute and I loved the babies at the end. They're so cute. I can't wait. One day I'll be a mom. Not now, because I'm 23 and single and have no desire to have a children right now. But anyways, babies are cute. It was a good story. 8 out of 10. Mwah. Okay, the next one I decided to reread online was Cherry Blossoms After Winter. For those who are in the enjoyable BL community, y'all know what I'm talking about. Cherry Blossoms After Winter is one of the most wholesome BLs I think that is out there. It is so freaking cute. We love Taesung, we love Haebum. Frick, I just want my babies to be happy. They're so freaking cute and I love their relationship, and we follow them all the way from high school to college to after college to getting married, and we just really see them evolve as characters and people and their friendships, and I'm like, it is just so cute and like literally like 100 out of 10. If you haven't read Cherry Blossoms After Winter, you're seriously missing out. It is so cute. It's complete. Go read it. Oh my gosh. My last online read for this month was Kiraide Isasete. Kiraide Isasete. I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce. I'm learning Japanese, but like it's a struggle. And again, another Omegaverse. I guess there's been a theme this month. Next month, who knows, maybe it'll be like creepy things like killing stalking, which wasn't really a BL, but anyways. Kiraide Isasete is based in an Omegaverse world, and Hazuki and Naoto are fated mates, and it shows them and their relationship, and it's very slice of life. Like, and there's not a lot of like, you know, wink wink stuff happening. It is very like, it actually, I do like the plot. I like that they're not always in the bedroom. I'm all for a good bedroom scene, but like, you know when it just gets to be too much? Like, give me actual story. There are actual some BLs that I've read online and even read in the manga where I'm like, every like 5th page, they're back in bed. And I'm like, but why? Can you actually have some development? Like, oh my gosh. And that is one thing I love about Kiraide Isasete, is that there's actual plot and you're getting to know the characters and you're getting to see emotional growth. Trigger warning though, there is like warnings of rape in this and, you know, like PTSD, so just a heads up if you're wanting to dive into this one, go into it with an open mind that those things do happen in this. But in the end, it turns out, you know, it's good and people grow and the kids are so freaking cute. I literally can't. I want to smush their faces. I would be exactly like the grandma, freaking Hazuki's mom. She like, every time she's over, she's like, has one kid in her arm about to leave and she's like, okay, bye. And they're like, no, you gotta leave our kids here. And she's like, okay. Make a third one, bye! It's so cute. 10 out of 10. You gotta read it. And it is ongoing still, so we'll get more babies. Yay! Well, I don't know if we'll get more babies, but I'll get to see more of them, and I love that. Next up, we're gonna move on to adventure/fantasy. So first up, we are gonna start with Mission Yozakura Family. This one was really interesting. Just like Mame Coordinate though, I don't know if I'm gonna heavily look for volume 2, though it is out. It was interesting and I do want to continue it eventually, but again, I have things that are a little higher up on my list, but it was really interesting for a take on like a spy family. No take from like Spy X Family, which is something completely different. But we have like a lolicon, very obsessed with his sister brother character who is trying to kill all of his sister's friends. In the end, in volume 1, right near the end, she's kidnapped and they're trying to get her back, and volume 1 ends, oh my gosh, this is a big spoiler. Volume 1 ends and they're literally about to get her back, so I'm fingers crossed. I mean, like, the good guys, right? They've got to get her back. It definitely had me on the edge of my seat in some parts, and I also love the main character. He is so funny. He is also so determined to do amazing for his friend. He also went through like loss because his parents and his other family members were in an accident, so if that's something that may bother you, just a heads up, like, does talk about death and stuff, but it is super interesting. So I will see how the second volume goes. The next one we're going to talk about is No Longer Allowed in Another World. Now, I definitely want to put a trigger warning here because it talks about death, it talks about suicide, it talks about double suicide, it talks about basically wanting to die and killing themselves. And apparently it's based on like an actual person. I posted this on my stories on Instagram and everyone's like, oh yeah, it's like blah 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 blah. And I'm like, who? So yeah, apparently I need to do some more research. But anyways, I wasn't really sure how I was feeling about this book when I first started reading it. I was like, oh, this is kind of dark and sad and depressing. And it sounds like, from reading it, I'm like, okay, so he's collecting a harem. We have like a big boob cat girl and we have magical elf girl with also big boobs. So I'm wondering if this series is like a suicidal-y harem type book. It's definitely interesting and it definitely kept me guessing, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't sure if I was gonna get the next volume, but they ended volume 1 in a spot where I just gotta know. I just gotta know what happened. So I am gonna be looking for volume 2. It is higher in my to look for list, surprisingly, considering I wasn't too sure how I was gonna vibe with it. But I would give this one an 8 out of 10 so far. The ending was like a 9 out of 10, which is why it's higher in my list, and I wanna know how it goes, because he attempts to do a double suicide and then he ends up in another world. And then I'm pretty sure the girl he double suicided with also ends up in that world, but she's with some pretty shady characters, and I obviously need to know how strong these shady characters are compared to his big boob cat girl and big boob magical elf girl, so we'll see that in volume 2. Next in adventure/fantasy, we're gonna be talking about In the Land of Leodel, and I read volumes 1 and 2. I am so obsessed with this series. Volume 3 is definitely high on my radar. I don't think it comes out until like March, April, maybe even May, if I remember correctly, but oh my goodness, if you haven't read this, go read it right now. It's kind of an isekai, like in the way that Sword Art Online was, like video game isekai, kind of. It is really interesting. Apparently it has an anime adaptation as well, which didn't hit with a lot of people. However, I am loving the manga. Easily like 10 out of 10, 15 out of 10. I just think it's so fun. She's making friends. She's also really funny and witty, and she's the most powerful person now in the world. Well, maybe there's another person that's powerful, but she's like one of the only people that knows how to use magic, because it was like 200 years later from when she first did whatever, and I guess all the magic users maybe died out, and so people are like, oh my god, like this girl's really powerful, what the beep. It is so funny. It's y'all, you just gotta read it. It is so good. I am literally obsessed. And last but not least, for our adventure fantasy category, we have Frieren Beyond Journey's End, which was recommended to me by one of the lovely staff at my favorite local bookstore, which, guess what, I get to film in there. They gave me the okay, so get ready for some book vlogs. And if you heard that, I'm sorry, my ankle's cracked. Anyways, Frieren, it is so good. I picked up volume 1 and then didn't read it, and then I was in another bookstore and I was like, I should pick up volume 2 just in case I really like volume 1. Well, I am glad I did, because if I had brought the rest of the series then and there, I would have read them all, which I think they're out to volume 9 right now. It is an ongoing series and apparently it's also getting an anime adaptation. But I am very excited to see how it goes. It is like she's learning how, one of our main characters learning how to feel emotions and how to like understand people, because she's an elf, so she's gonna live for like hundreds of thousands of years. Well, maybe not thousands, no, maybe thousands, versus her human companions who, you know, can maybe live to 100 if they're really healthy and, you know, doing good stuff. So obviously her main people, they defeat the Demon King, and, you know, they're like, I want to say they're like 20s. And then she's like, okay, I'm gonna go explore. I'll see y'all in like another 50 years. And then she comes back and, you know, they're all like old now. And, you know, they start passing away one by one. And she's like, you know, I never got to know them. I was with them for 10 years, which is like a 1/100th of my life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, you look no different. Holy balls. So now I think volume 2, we ended, they're gonna go smash some demon stuff and kick some butt. She's got a new apprentice and a new warrior, which was the apprentice of another character in her team that defeated the Demon King. Yes. Anyways, oh my gosh, this fantasy adventure manga, I am so excited to see where it goes. So the next volumes are definitely high on my radar. I believe 9 volumes are out as of right now. So you know the next time I'm going to the bookstore, I'm gonna pick up a few more volumes of this one. Our final category today is going to be, you guessed it, romance. And the first one we are going to start off with is The Fiancé Chosen by the Ring, which ended up being a lot different than I had expected, just giving the title, because I didn't read the back at all. I just looked at the cover and I read the title and I was like, oh yeah, this sounds romancy. I'm gonna read this. So when I thought Chosen by the Ring, I was thinking like Lord of the Rings stuff, like it's a magical ring and it like swooped onto her finger. No, I was very wrong. Spoiler alert, it's because the guy hucked the ring and he's like, I'm just gonna marry whoever the ring hits, and he like whacks it and it, like, the girl goes, ow! And anyway, so now she's fiance, but like pretend fiance. I don't know if they're actually gonna get married. I mean, like they probably will, because like that's how these stories go. But it was super cute. Her love of embroidery, she just wants to be like, she's kind of a wallflower, but she just wants to make beautiful things. And apparently, it has, in the story, she's like a witch? No. Yes, mage? I don't know. Her embroidery embroiders magic into her embroidery. So like, for instance, it was saying in the book, the scarf or something that she embroidered for her brother has like healing magic or protection magic. The embroidery that she did for her mom's hair thing or whatever has like beauty magic, so like it makes her feel extra special and stuff. So right now they are like analyzing how that's possible, and she's got a test to embroider a few things for like His Majesty the Prince, or I'm pretty sure he's the Prince. He's an interesting character, to see like what kind of magic she has. But I'm definitely gonna see how this goes. Again, the next few volumes, I believe volumes 2 and 3 are out, so they are definitely on my to peep list. I would definitely say this one was a 9 out of 10 for me. It was super interesting. I can't wait to see how it goes in volume 2 and volume 3, so yes. Next up for romance, we have A Condition Called Love, and I kid you not, I just read this last night, and oh my goodness, it is so freaking cute. High school romance. Yes, yes, yes. It is so cute. Easily a 10 out of 10. I cannot wait to read the next volume. Definitely high on my need to peep to buy list. It was so cute. I'm like, talk about devotion and a girl just trying to find and express her feelings and like how to love. Like, seems like robot kind of character, which I feel like is a really standard trope for shoujos. Like, girl can't express how she feels, has never been in love, guy opens heart. But I am a sucker for that shit, and it is adorable, and this is a 10 out of 10, and if you like shoujo, you need to read it. So that is all I have to say about it. Next for romance, we have Tsubaki Cho Lonely Planet Volume 1. I attempted to read Volume 2 as well this month because I do have Volume 2. However, I have been reading so many beginnings of new series this month that my brain literally was like, what the beep? I cannot comprehend what I'm reading. I don't know why the characters are feeling the way they are. I have to read Volume 1 again. So I'm hoping to reread Volume 1 next month so that I can actually continue the series and maybe start less series next month and just continue ones that I've already started to read, but I was catching up. A lot of new cool stuff came out in January, and you know, the whatever falls where it may. But we have Tsubaki Cho Lonely Planet. It is super cute. So a girl and her dad are in debt and they're trying to pay it off. She moves in with Mr. Hunk and he's gorgeous. However, I will point this out right now before any of you stop this video and go to the bookstore to grab it right now. It is an age gap series and I know that triggers a lot of people, so just a heads up. It is actually a slightly bigger age gap than Takane and Hana, which I already know people are triggered by I think it's a 10-year difference. I believe this one's like a 12-year difference. So I'm just saying, if that bothers you, avoid. I personally like to just think the age difference is smaller, especially because they haven't mentioned the ages in the books, but if you Google it, the ages are there. But I like to try and picture it otherwise when I read these kinds of books. But it is still really cute. I love the art style. I cannot wait to see Volume 3 after I finally read Volume 2. It is high up on my list. 10 out of 10, even though it's like an age gap series. So if you don't mind that, I highly recommend reading it. It is so freaking cute. Yeah. Next in our romance category, we have Rainbow Days, which was an interesting take on a shoujo because it is from the male perspective, the boy's perspective. It is based in a high school romance. Bless, I love high school romances. They are super cute. I wonder if I like to live through the mangas because I did not have high school romances. I was kind of a nerd. Anyways, enough about my sad past. Rainbow Days. I thought it was really interesting. I can't say I got too into it. It was cute, but I definitely would say it's like a 6.57 out of 10 for me. I don't know. I love reading things from the girl's perspective because maybe I can relate to it more. And like his friends just seem kind of odd. Like one likes to, he's like the dom. He likes to, you know, like whack and like that kind of like BDSM type stuff. And then the other one's dating like a bunch of girls. And he's like the only soft one. He's just wholehearted and pure. And I don't know, there's just something about his friends that like bothers me. And like this poor guy keeps going for not the right kind of girls. And I don't know, we'll see. Volume 2 is not super high on my radar. Eventually I am gonna continue it because I do want to see our poor boy find some love. He deserves it. He is like so precious and just deserves love, but I don't know. Something about the friends, and there's just something about it that makes me like not want to keep going. However, I do love the art style. It is very modern, it is fresh, it is soft, and it is round. And that part I do love. Next in our romance category, we have My Secret Affection Volume 1. I really liked this. I loved the art style. It was really good. We started off strong, but my favorite thing was that it was based in a world that was like heterosexuality was like weird. Like if you were straight, it's weird. Everyone was gay, everyone was a lesbian because of some meteor that's like spewing love juice. It's really interesting. And so our main character, she's straight and she's in love with her childhood best friend. And near the end of the book, spoiler alerts, one of her other classmates is also straight. However, I don't know if he's playing her. He seems like the kind of guy that's gonna out her, and she just wants her to like confide in him, and then he's gonna out her. But we'll see. Volume 2 is high up because I want to know if that guy is a jerk or if he's being legit and he is also sad because he is straight. That is the tea. It is so good. 10 out of 10. We love. Up next in our romance category, we have The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses, which wasn't interesting. It was kind of very slice of life romancy. They look like middle school, but they could be high school. I'm pretty sure it's middle school. school year? It doesn't say. I can't remember. They look like they could be middle schoolers. I think it's just because of the art style, which is kind of like chibi, but not quite. It also has like, it has a storyline, but it's definitely more like little things like here's a day and it was funny, and then here's another day and it was also funny, but there's not like one consistent plot other than the fact that he likes this girl. We'll see how it goes. It was like a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I definitely want to see where it goes, so I am going to be picking up volume 2 when it comes out, or if it is out, but we'll see. I want there to be more plot. I am a sucker for plot. I don't like just random stuff. Though I do have one series that's like that, and that is Penguin and House, and I don't know, it's just freaking hilarious and I love it, but when it comes to romance stuff, I like the plot, so. But it was adorable. 8 out of 10. Yes. Next up, we have Honey Lemon Soda. Now, am I gonna get hate for this when I tell you guys that I had a hard time getting into this one, especially because it was so hyped up online? It was definitely a 9 out of 10 for me, and I am going to be picking up volume 2 as soon as it comes out. And I think part of the reason why I couldn't get into it, and this is partly my own doing, is because my dad was watching hockey and kept screaming at the TV, and I was reading on the couch right beside him. I should have just left the room so I could really get into my book, but I didn't. So I think I missed certain emotions and connections toward the book. However, the art style is gorgeous. I am very excited to see what volume 2 has in store. It is another school romance. Oh yes, we love. I think the girl needs to be more confident in herself. I think that was one of the like reoccurring themes, was that she kept not being confident with herself, which kind of bothered me a little bit because I'm like, you literally have so much support around you. Oh my gosh. But then I can't say too much because I was the same way in elementary school and middle school. I had a lot of hard times with self-confidence and stuff, so I can relate a little bit. But yes, it was really good. 9 out of 10. Definitely going to be picking up volume 2, and I hope to change my answer to a 10 out of 10. I'll reread volume 1, and then maybe when I'm not distracted by screaming hockey people, it will be a 10 out of 10, but yes. Next up, we have Yakuza Fiancé, and y'all, this was so good. 10 out of 10, like 11 out of 10. I am super excited to read volume 2. I did pick it up in January. I just haven't read it yet. What? It just messes with my brain. I'm like, is he good? Is he bad? Is he a sadist? Is he a masochist? I really don't know. I'm like, she's badass. I can't wait to see how the story progresses. Are they gonna be in love? Will she find someone else? Are there other people? Oh my goodness. Is literally just so good. I love the art style. It's definitely different from an art style I normally like because it's kind of like boxy. It's not old style manga, but it's not like soft baby yes, referencing the last video. It's boxy, but I like it. It's interesting. And I've been really into like Yakuza stories recently, along with vampire. I'm having like this weird like bad girl, like likes bad girl, bad boy kind of stories recently, or like, yeah, I'm a vampire. So this definitely falls into my current obsession. I love it so much. Definitely like 11 out of 10. If you like romances with like a twist, you gotta read this. And last but not least in our romance category, probably one of my favorite reads that I read this month is In the Clear Moonlit Dusk volumes 1 and 2. I picked both volumes up at the same time. As I mentioned in the last video, just be prepared. One's shorter than the other. Come on, Kodansha. We expect better. I'm hoping maybe if they reprint them that they'll reprint the right size and I might actually go get it so that they'll be the same size. But anyways, these were so freaking wholesome. He just wants to look at her. He's like, she's gorgeous and I want to look at her. And she's just trying to express her feelings. Kind of like when we talked about earlier, the whole girl robot explaining feelings of love. But my favorite thing about this, which I talked about in the last video, is that our heroine has short hair, which I don't see a lot in shoujo manga. It's always like long hair, which is fine because I also will have long hair. My hair is kind of short, but I did actually have a pixie cut at one point. And you know, we're still cute when we have short hair. We want to relate to stories too, and I want to see more short hair representation in shoujo manga. I just think the hairstyle is so cute, and it did kind of make me want to cut my hair really short again. But I've also been trying to grow my hair out for many years now. I say many because I like dyed it a bunch and then had to dye it back. So like, you know, and we do haircuts too. Anyways, we're not talking about my hair. We're talking about In the Clear Moonlight Dusk. It is so good. Oh my gosh, 20 out of 10. I cannot wait for volume 3, which I think they're making us wait till like March or May. Like, rude. They'll release a few volumes and then they're like, you can wait now. And I'm like, no, I can't. Give me it right now. Ugh, it is so good. If you like shoujo romance, it is another school one. You gotta read this one. It is so good. I promise you will not be disappointed. Alright guys, that is it for my January reads. What is your favorite thing that you read in January? Leave that in the comments and let's talk about it. But that is all I have for this video, guys. I love you a lot and I will see you in the next one. Bye!